Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel today with a very special video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Disney Store Deluxe Moana doll. Now, this is a very special video because it's uploaded the same day as the Walt Disney Company's 100th anniversary. So yes, it's a very important occasion, and if you most likely noticed, this whole month is dedicated to Disney-related content. So Disney, Pixar, we've been taking a look at some Marvel stuff as well. But I decided that for the day that the anniversary is official, that being in October 15th, I decided to do this video based on a Walt Disney animation character, of course Moana, since she's also been a character who's been heavily in the marketing for the 100th anniversary, especially since she will appear in the Once Upon a Studio animated short. But enough is said about the context on this video. Now let's officially take a look at Moana. So, starting off here with Moana, starting with the head sculpt, it's very impressive. Now, since this is a Disney Store Deluxe doll, she of course has a much more accurate design literally everywhere. But starting with the face, of course, the expression to me is on point. Something I really dislike about many of the Disney princess dolls, and in general with Disney's marketing for the princesses, is that it's kind of thing that has been going on ever since they started out, is that their expressions, of course, they're meant to be delicate, they're meant to be, role models, and so they usually have, very calm-looking expressions. And I get it, it's their personalities, but in a way, the reason why Moana is one of my favorite characters is because of her personality. It's just on how different she is, and how more energetic and more action-inspired she actually is. And that's also noticeable in her outfit, which we'll take a look at in a moment, but the expression is on point. I really like the more, I guess we could call it the more confident expression. I really like that. Of course, she's smiling, but it's a lot more confident. So, I do really feel Moana's personality with this expression. Something else is that her eyes are looking a little to the side. It's an interesting look. I'm not really sure why they decided to do it like that, but it's not a complaint. I just think it's an interesting look. Her hair has also been really well done. I've noticed throughout time that I'm not sure if it's the lighting, but I always see it sometimes it's completely black, but sometimes you see it slightly dark, really dark brown. I'm not sure. I believe the character has her hair black. I'm not sure if it's just the lighting. As you can see, the hair is not completely in the best shape. I got her off of Facebook Marketplace for around $12 to $13, so not the full $20 to get her new at the Disney Store. But looking now at her clothes, these are really well detailed as well. As you can see there, the necklace, and something I forgot to mention is that here there are some straps that are holding onto the top. And her necklace is also on a rubber band. Now, I'm not going to remove any of these because it's the only thing that's keeping the top and the necklace on, because as you'll probably remember on the 2016 Hasbro Moana review, since the straps on that one were cut, it means that the top constantly keeps falling down. So I think she looks great with this. I really like the kind of, it's a really interesting kind of cloth. I'm not really sure what to say about it, but it's such an interesting different material. You can see the arms look like this because she has elbow joints, but we'll take a look at that in a moment. But the skirt has also been really well done. Now, of course, very accurate. I like how there's different kinds of fabric used here, and there's these little dingly things inside, which I believe are accurate to her look in the movie. I do think they kind of hinder some kind of articulation. We're going to take a look at that later on. But something else I wanted to mention is that similar to the 2016 doll, let me just focus the camera in the better angle. I really hope that you can see it from the camera, but they even detailed the toenails and the fingernails. That is such a detail that I'm pretty sure almost no one is gonna notice. And I'm pretty sure with the camera it's kind of hard to notice it, but they detailed everything, and I think that's really what makes this doll impressive. Now let me zoom back again. the fact that they detail the toenails or the fingernails to me is impressive, because that's something that I don't really think that many people can pay attention to. Like, I didn't even notice it at first. I'm not even sure how I noticed it, but it's such an interesting detail. It's something that many dolls don't do just because, well, it's not really necessary, but I do think it really gives a whole new level of detail. And of course, since Moana is a character who never wears shoes in the movie, she's always barefoot, it makes sense why they detail that, because unlike, say, a Barbie doll where it's most likely you're gonna give her shoes, heels, or anything like that, they're really gonna need, not gonna need any kind of detail in their feet. But particularly here at the back, as detailed. Again, the hair is very poofy, and I've tried my best to make sure it's in good condition. Got her semi-used, but that's kind of it for the details. Now let's take a look at her articulation. And this is another very impressive part of this doll. Now, since she is made mainly for collectors, or to be, in some cases, to be played with, this doll, at first I thought she wasn't really going to have that much articulation, because, well, she's mainly made to display. But I'm not really sure how to say it. I was surprised on the level of articulation. Now, she has movement here at the head, really good range. And I'm pretty sure I've noticed that all the Disney Store dolls most likely have it. As you can see, this sort of tilt really, I like the expression on her eyes, because on any pose you put the head, it's gonna give a different kind of expression. Now, she also has ball joints here at the arms, so that's really good and really fantastic range. And she also has bends here at the elbow, which is fantastic, and even at the wrist, which is also pretty great. So you can get her into sort of like, my favorite pose to put her on is this pose, where she's with her hands here. I really like that kind of pose, and it's mainly the pose I love the marketing for the character uses. To me, the only thing that keeps this doll from being absolutely perfect is the movement of the legs. She only has this kind of kick. Now, she does have this kind of movement as well, which is useful, but I really wish she had knee joints. Like you can see here, there's no kind of knee bend, and that is my only, believe me, my only problem with this doll. Now, I get that. I kind of think it's because of these things that dangle inside. Like, sure, it's very accurate, but I kind of think it kind of restricts the joints. Like, I've noticed that sometimes even the leg joints, that get stuck. These little, like, dangly things, these sort of, like, strings get stuck in the joints. Maybe that's why she doesn't have knee bend. But that's kind of for the details. She doesn't really, from what I know, she doesn't come with accessories now. I have seen some pictures that have her holding an oar, and I also seen ones of a recently repackaged doll, which includes many of accessories, but sadly this one doesn't have any. I believe the original release didn't have any apart from a brush to comb her hair, but I got her secondhand, so she doesn't include anything of that. But now let's do some size comparisons. First size comparison, here we have the Disney Store Deluxe Moana doll next to Hasbro's Ocean Adventure Moana back from 2016. Now, of course, there's a massive difference from the start, and I don't mean the hair. Let me just fix that. It's not the hair. It's like, it's such a different kind of impression it gives. Like, you can tell which one is the most detailed, but I'm not going to take points away from the 2016 one, because sure, at first you think, oh, the Disney Store one is like 1,000 times better. The face is more detailed, the clothes are more detailed, and sure, I'll give it that. The Disney Store one does have a lot better look, but to me, what the 2016 Hasbro Moana has that makes her great mainly is the knee joints. Like, I'll take knee joints over almost any other kind of joints almost any day, because I think that this 2016 Moana has been so easier to pose. Like, I've taken a picture where she's like sitting or on her knees, and it's so much easier to do it because on the larger range of movements. Now, I get that the Disney Store one was most likely just done to be displayed, and sure, the movement of the arms is fantastic, but I do think that maybe the knee bend would have been great. I really hope that someday we see a Disney Store Moana with knee bend, and I think that, like, the head sculpt looks perfect, the body type is perfect. She's, I guess we could say, slightly more thicker, a bit bulkier in a way to the other Disney-related dolls, and her feet are a lot larger, so she can't stand on her own. Same thing I can say about the 2016 Moana. Oh, and I also forgot that the 2016 Moana also has this kind of movement at the torso, which is also pretty fantastic. So overall, they both have their things. It really depends on what you want out of Moana. Like, if you just want, like, a really nice looking one, well, the Disney Store one is the one for you. But if you want to pose one, the 2016 one is good now. It really depends on what you want. Personally, I like both. I think they're both great. Of course, the Disney Store one is more detailed, but it comes down to what you really want on which one is better. But that's it for this size comparison. The only other, like, important comparison I can think of right now is with the Disney Store Special Edition Miss Marvel doll, of course from the Marvel Cinematic Universe version of Kamala Khan. I thought this would be an interesting comparison because both come from the same place, the Disney Store. The main difference, of course, is the franchises, because Moana is based on Walt Disney Animation, while Miss Marvel here is based on the MCU. And the biggest difference, of course, is the origin of the design, where Moana is completely 3D animated, while Miss Marvel is based on a real person, the young actress Yvonne Milani, who plays Kamala in the series. Now, personally, in terms of what I think about the Disney Store dolls until this point, I think they're, like, super fantastic, and Miss Marvel has knee joints, but she's also wearing pants, so I guess that's also why she has knee joints. But I'm gonna say that these are great. Now, the biggest difference, of course, is the budget, where the Disney Princess dolls are $20 each, while the special edition Marvel dolls are $50. Now, it got to come all off a discount. She was $10, of course, a great price, but my point is that they really, you can notice the amount of detail that goes into both of these. They're both fantastic, and I don't collect dolls. Like, these are most likely going to be the only ones I ever have, and so this is sort of like the last doll review you can expect from this channel, and that's kind of it for this comparison. They look cool next to each other, but now for the final comparisons. And here's Moana next to some Marvel Legends, and this is where the problem starts with, mainly with this doll to me, and it's that I mainly just want a cool, poseable Moana for my collection, for my display, and even though this doll, of course, is virtually perfect in terms of her look, in terms of the scale, of course, is way off. Moana should not be the largest character in this frame. Like, I get that there's a massive difference between the scale of a doll and the scale of an action figure, but it's kind of comical just seeing how massive she actually is, how giant she is, and that also kind of started like a small hunt with me of trying to find a small poseable Moana to have here with these kinds of action figure. Like, to me, the main human size is around 5 to 6 inches tall. And so I started a hunt to find a small Moana figure to have in my display. And at most, the only thing I managed to find, it's this small Mattel-made mini doll. Now, this doll costed around $5. And of course, she is noticeably smaller, but I kind of like the concept this doll has. Now, sadly, she's not big enough for my main collection because she is still too small. Let me just zoom in here. There we go. Of course, she is noticeably shorter, but I kind of like the concept Mattel had here of making their normal dolls shrunken down to a mini doll. Now, the only thing that's cloth about this small doll is the skirt. Everything else is plastic. In this case, all of the clothing of the Disney Store Moana are, of course, cloth. Now, I kind of wish Disney Store did this of shrinking down their dolls into these kind of small figures, but they'll most likely not do it. I thought it'd be cool to showcase this mini Moana. That way, I can have a display like this, of this massive Disney Store doll carrying this mini doll. I think it's kind of funny. I think it's kind of cool, just having a larger version of a character holding a smaller one. But that's kind of it for the size comparisons. I also want to mention that maybe I'll do a review on this mini Moana, just to do it, because I'm not really sure what else I can do with this mini doll, because she did not accomplish what I planned of her being the small posable Moana in my main display. I'll have to search, or just wait until a newer figure is made, but that's kind of it for the size comparisons. And overall, to finish off this video, the Disney Store Deluxe Moana doll is overall really solid. Now, I'm pretty sure most of my bias comes from the fact that Moana is my favorite female Disney character, and how I really think this doll captures her personality really well. The only, problem I have is, again, the lack of knee joints. That's really what's weighing this doll down for me. But I still think she's really solidly made. Apart from the knee joint, she has solid articulation. And she looks fantastic. She definitely looks like the character. And overall, would I recommend her? Well, it depends. If you really want a cool Moana doll for your display, well, I'd say this is the main one to go for. Because in terms of accuracy, she's super accurate. And apart from that, that's kind of it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments what you think about this doll. And also, this video came out in October 15, 2023, the day that the 100 years of Disney happens. So, of course, it's a milestone. It's an entire legacy. And so, it's really cool. And we're still going to keep seeing Disney stuff, even though technically the full anniversary is today. You'll still see many other reviews done throughout this month. Of course, the Disney month won't end until October ends. So, yeah, that's kind of it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting this channel, whether it's the Disney stuff or anything else. Of course, let's consider, let's be happy about this day. And that's it. Thanks for watching.